What's up, guys? I'm Laura from Reading in Bed, and this is a rare Friday night Friday Reads. I even have an alcoholic beverage with me tonight. It's quite a rarity and is actually sort of relevant to one of the books I'm reading. And since the kids are here and I've banished them downstairs and they're still being loud, we're just going to get right into it, okay? So the first book that I'm reading right now is The Little Friend by Donna Tartt. This is my first Donna Tartt, and I know, without anyone commenting or saying, that this is not where I should start with Donna Tartt. I wasn't here on BookTube, but I was very into book blogging when The Goldfinch was having its moment, whatever year that was, like 2014. And nothing about it really appealed to me, so I just stayed out of that entire conversation. And The Secret History, same thing, like I'm just not, like campus novels, while I often end up liking them, they're not something I, look for deliberately. So there's just really been no impetus for me to pick up a Donna Tartt book. This one, I think I picked up at a library sale, and really just based on the cover, because it's got that creepy doll, and it's just been languishing on my shelf ever since. I'm certain it's been a couple of years. And as I was looking a little more closely and just, checking out the end papers and all that stuff, I realized that this is actually a first edition, so that's kind of cool. And so far, I mean, I'm on page 39, but the prologue, which is sort of a flashback, and it tells the story of this 9-year-old boy who is killed under like very mysterious circumstances that no one ever really solves, or maybe they do later in the book. But the actual story is about his two sisters many years later as grown-ups, trying to kind of come to terms with losing their brother at such a young age. At least that's what I figured out so far. It's very early days, but so far I'm really liking it. I mean, it's very, it's dense, like there's very long sentences, very long paragraphs. I can't really just sort of dip in and out of this. I have to sit down and make sure I'm actually going to read for, say 15 minutes or something at a time. But so far so good. I mean, the amount of vitriol about this book that's out there is kind of alarming. I mean, noted booktuber Baz Pierce wrote on Goodreads that the only thing holding this novel together is the binding. So we shall see. It'll be nice, I guess, to finally have an opinion about Donna Tartt, but so far it's going pretty well. And on the nonfiction side of things, I am reading Hungover by Shaughnessy Bishop-Stall. So this is from the library. I got on the wait list early. This is a fairly new release, I believe. So the subtitle is The Morning After and One Man's Quest for a Cure. And according to reviews I've seen online, he does eventually find a cure and talks about it in the book, though it's not, you can't just sort of like flip to it. You have to actually read the thing. And more than just about, a hangover cure and is there actually one, it's also a bit of a, cultural exploration, everything from, when did we start using the term hangover? Very recently. And, how was it treated in history and by different religions and all this kind of stuff. So it is interesting. The reason I picked this up, though, was not so much because I'm interested in hangovers these days, because, like, I barely drink these days, but but I had, like, legendary hangovers when I was younger. But I read this guy's first book, which was called Down to This. That was probably like 2004. So in Down to This, he went and lived in a homeless encampment. In Canada, we say tent city. I don't know if that's a thing everywhere, but he lived in Tent City in Vancouver for a year. And I don't think he, pretended that he was just a regular homeless person. He, let people know that he was doing this for like, an investigative journalism piece or whatever. But he did stay there for a year. And so that book was extremely compelling, and it's because it gives you access to a community that most readers would normally not have access to, or at least not on a personal level like that. Although it makes me think now how a book like that would be received in, the time of social media and the time of many more conversations about cultural appropriation. Like, here's a white guy just, kind of visiting a homeless camp and just like hanging out for a while and then leaving after. I mean, a year is a long time, but he did get to leave eventually, and he could have left whenever he wanted, right? Yeah, I could see that going a little differently in 2019 than it went in 2004, because I think that book was rather well received and I really enjoyed it. I read it without any of that baggage because, yeah, that just wasn't really top of mind at the time. So the reason I mentioned that book is because this one, while it's still entertaining and it's good, it's not quite the same in terms of like the entertainment value or the enjoyment. I think because with hangovers, like, we all know about hangovers, you know, it's not like something that's normally inaccessible. It's not like that voyeuristic thrill of getting access to something that normally wouldn't. You know, while I rarely drink more than 1 or 2 drinks at a time these days, which is really because I'm too scared to deal with a hangover now that I have kids and actual life responsibilities. But I know about hangovers, you know, like, there's nothing new there. Now, if there is actually a cure in here, and if it's something reasonable, maybe I'll try it. Maybe I'll actually like get actually drunk for the first time since having kids. Maybe I should vlog it, you know, like, it's been more than 9 years. It's probably been more like 10 years, and then like try out his cure. I don't know. But as far as a reading experience, it's light, it's breezy, but it's not nearly as compelling. And it's a lot more about him. Whereas Down to This, was more about the people that he was interacting with and living with. This one, it's more about him, you know, getting drunk a lot and testing out various cures, which, you know, it's fun, but it's, yeah, not quite on the same level as his previous book. Now, lastly, I haven't started this one yet, but I just picked it up from the library and I'm very excited to try it out. So this is called How to Disappear: Notes on Invisibility in a Time of Transparency by Akiko Bush. So the reason I'm so excited is that this is an essay collection, and it's about and is a critique of social media, which, you know, something I've been very interested in because of, you know, kind of getting myself off of social media. And yes, some of you will note that I kind of slid back into Twitter for a while this week while I'm off again. So, you know, but the thing is, like, this whole critique and backlash against social media, it is having a moment, but nearly all of those books, essays, articles, TED Talks, what have you, are written by tech bros. Yeah, I know, like, tech bros, whatever. But they're written by men, and most of them are, like, former tech executives. So it's just, like, a very limited, not limited, but it's, like, there's no real diversity of experience, let's say. Like, they're all coming at it from, you know, a fairly insidery and fairly privileged point of view. And it just, I mean, with all tech and business books, like, it's always 90% men, and it really does bother me. So far there's one other book I've noticed out there that's about social media. It's written by a woman. Of course, I can't remember the name of it right now, but it's like 700 pages long and looks way too dense. This is, you know, a nice slim, not even 200 pages. So we're going to give this one a try. It sounds like it's a lot more literary as well. Like, when I read, I'm going to forget the actual title, but it's like Delete Your Social Media Accounts Right Now, or 10 Reasons You Should Delete Your Social Media Accounts Right Now by Jaron Lanier. Terrible writing. Like, I appreciate it in the message, but the writing was just beyond. But it seems like Akiko Bush has kind of a more literary background. She's, you know, she's the author of several essay collections, and, you know, she's worked for magazines and that kind of thing. And just to end us off, I'll just read very briefly from the description, just to give you an idea of where she's coming from. So this says, in our networked and image-saturated lives, the notion of disappearing has never been more alluring. Today we are relentlessly encouraged, even conditioned, to reveal, share, and promote ourselves. The pressure to be public comes not just from our peers, but from the vast and pervasive technology companies that want to profit from patterns in our behavior. How to Disappear is a unique and exhilarating accomplishment, overturning the dangerous modern assumption that somehow fame and visibility equate to success and happiness. And yes, I appreciate the irony of reading this out on YouTube. So anyway, very excited about this, and I believe this is a brand new release too. I got on the wait list nice and early for this one as well. So anyway, that's my Friday reads. I'm going to finish my drink before the kids start yelling again, and I'll check out some of your Friday reads as well. Thank you for watching.